All right, I got a real life scenario of the confusion around comparing your pre-retirement income to what your income should be and is in retirement. I'll explain coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. All right, I got a real life scenario here of some folks that it's confusing. Transitioning into retirement, saying, well, when we were working, we were making this much, and now that we're in retirement, we're only making this much. Wait a second, are we getting a big pay reduction, a big cut in our income? So when planning for retirement, you guys know, if you're a fan of the Wise Money Show, there's 5 factors. There's 5 factors that you need to analyze to see if you're on track for retirement, and they're all different decisions that you get to make, but they're interrelated, meaning a decision in one area is going to impact your options or the outcome in other areas, right? And income, retirement income, is the third of those 5 factors, all right? Now, some real simple fly-by-night or just kind of off-the-shelf retirement plans or rules of thumb say you need to have income that's 70% of your pre-retirement income. That's garbage. That is garbage. I completely disagree. You know who that works for? Yeah, it works for the people that need actually 70% of their pre-retirement income. You've got to determine, all right, based on your financial situation, how much income do you need from in retirement, okay? That's connected, of course, to the second factor, and that is, well, how much are you gonna spend? What's your lifestyle, okay? That's the root of it. So I was recently in a meeting with some clients, and this issue came up. Let me tell you what happened. And it created some confusion. And obviously I had done a poor job of really clarifying the situation. But the spouse told me recently, in sort of an unguarded moment, yeah, every time as we were talking about retirement, making these plans, I felt great while I was in here, but I did find myself getting concerned when I was at home, knowing that we were making, when we were working, we were making this much. And now every time we would meet, you'd say, well, we'd have this much income. And I would kind of stress out and worry about the big gap between those things. Can you help me? And yes, I mean, that's feedback for me. I just wasn't communicating clearly enough. But yeah, the situation is they were both transitioning to retirement. They were both working, okay? And he was making about $125,000 a year. She's making about $75,000 a year. He recently retired, and she was going to retire a couple of months later, okay? And so we're in that transitionary time. And again, we're having one of our meetings where she then kind of confessed to me, yeah, I've actually been very worried about this. I know we were making together household income of around $200,000, and now you're telling me that we've got all this income coming in and it will be 10 grand a month. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, we're going to have this big pay cut. Well, Mike, you remember we just, we shifted to a 15-year mortgage. We did some renovations on the house. We've got the dream house, blah, blah, blah. We're spending more. And yet I'm seeing our income is going to be so much less. Fantastic point. Fantastic point. And again, the message loud and clear. I hadn't communicated clearly enough. And so here we go. I took this concept and this scenario and put it in black and white, put it on an Excel sheet. Now I can't show that to you here. Everything is confidential, of course. But in concept, when you're working, okay, you're going from the top number down, meaning you're looking at, all right, what's my salary? And then out of your salary, you've got to pay health insurance, and you've got to pay other benefits, and then you've got to pay your FICA, and you've got to pay retirement or save into retirement, right? And then you've got to pay federal tax, you've got to pay state and local tax and everything else. And then, so you focus on that high number, and then you just get this residual amount that's direct deposited as your take-home income. Well, in retirement, it's the exact opposite. You've got to start with, what's that monthly take home that I need? Like what's the monthly take home so that my income is equal, okay? Not looking at the top line, but taking out all of those other factors that get pulled out of that. Now here's what hits the bank account every month. You've got to match that, okay? When you're starting your retirement income planning, all right? So match that, but then you've got to add on, all right, what will health insurance cost you, okay? And then you've got to add on, what tax bracket will you be in? And that was the biggie with them. I'll come back to it in a second. You've got to add in what will your taxes be, and then what will some of your other expenses be. And so as I put that there black and white, the light bulb went off. And finally, it wasn't just words or me illustrating on a whiteboard. It was actually side by side, black and white, that making a family $200,000, at least in their situation, is effectively the same, actually a little bit of a raise, by them getting 10 grand a month in retirement income. How can that be? How can that be? Because in their situation, again, I can't share with you the specifics, but in their situation, looking at that $200,000 gross income and then how much was going towards health insurance, no, the amount going towards health insurance was going to be different when they were on Medicare and a supplement, right? The amount that was going towards FICA taxes, you think about $200,000, neither one of them reaching that Social Security wage limit, so they were both paying 7.65% on all of their income. How much FICA do you pay on your retirement income? None. That 7.65%, that tax is not even there yet. And so what about federal taxes? Yeah, they were going to be in a lower tax bracket now. So that tax bracket dropped, a couple percent, and in some, their effective tax rate, their average tax rate dropped significantly. Social Security, not all of your Social Security is taxed. In our state, Indiana and Michigan and many other states don't tax Social Security at all. So that was a big tax reduction for them. And then obviously out of the $200,000 gross salary that they had while they were working, a big chunk of that was going set aside for retirement. Well, when they're in retirement, they're not saving up for retirement. We're just trying to factor in how much they need to live on. And so as we broke all of those things down, their take home, the amount they were actually spending was close to $9,000. And I was able to show them that, all right, based on that $10,000 that you're getting after withholding taxes and accounting for all these other things, actually slightly higher than where you were before. Do you have that level of clarity? That level of clarity that I missed. I missed providing that for them initially. But do you have that level of clarity? Or are you looking and saying, well, while I'm working, I'm making this, and therefore I've got to be able to make that amount of income in retirement? No, do that math, break it down. It's the complete opposite. It's vice versa, okay? You start at a high number and take all these reductions or deductions out of it to get to your take home. Retirement's is just the opposite. You start with your take home, you add in the additional items, okay? Work with your CFP on that. Those of the 5 factors of retirement, okay? Age, spending, income, the amount of that you have set aside and saved up for retirement, how much you're saving, and then risk. Those 5 factors, spending, in my opinion, is the most important, followed by income, okay? So work with your certified financial planner. Make sure you've got great clarity. You know what needs to be done. You know that you're on track to retire, because ultimately, and again, I showed this to them and they said, oh my goodness, Mike, I feel much better. And I said, guys, I feel better. Your financial situation, you guys have the green light to retire. You're ready. You're there, and it is disappointing that you had these financial concerns because you've sacrificed enough. And it was, they didn't cry, but it was an emotional conversation once that burden of worry was released. Do you carry that worry? Work with your CFP to make sure you've got the clarity and confidence and the creativity to make sure that you're achieving your financial goals, specifically are on track with your retirement goal. If you don't have a CFP that's helping you with that, you can always contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with a K. WiseMoneyShow.com. You can find us there as well. Or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.